Welcome to the Big 12 Digital Network's preview of the Phillips 66 Big 12 Men's Basketball Championship. Now, here's Wendell Barnhouse.
Welcome to our preview show. The Sprint Center in Kansas City is ready, and the field has been set. There are 2 first-round games on Wednesday, 4 quarterfinals on Thursday, the semifinals on Friday, and the championship game is at 8 p.m. Saturday on ESPN. The Big 12 has had a great regular season so far, and that's likely to carry over into the postseason. Talk to any of the national experts, and they'll agree that the Big 12 has proven to be the top conference in the nation. If you don't believe the experts, check the computers. The Big 12 is number 1 in all RPI categories. And the experts who use that computer information, the geeks that are known as bracketologists, are projecting the Big 12 to get 7 teams, that's 70% of the conference, in the NCAA tournament bracket that will be announced Sunday. Now, after that preamble, let's get started talking about the games.
First of all, it's going to be incredibly balanced based on the success of the league and the way you look at the top 7 or 8 teams. The interesting thing, the X factor, is the fact that Oklahoma State is going to finish at the bottom of the draw, and we're looking at a team that in December was 5th in the country, and as recently as early January was 8th in the country. And so if you're a 2 or 3 seed and you got to see Oklahoma State with Marcus Smart back now in a quarterfinal game, that's not necessarily a reward for finishing 2nd or 3rd.
Wednesday in Game 1, Oklahoma State is the number 8 seed and will take on number 9 seed Texas Tech. Oklahoma State has probably played itself into the NCAA tournament bracket, but be safe, the Cowboys probably need to win this opening round game with Texas Tech. And Oklahoma State has never lost an opening round game. The Cowboys are 10-0 in the Big 12 championship in the first round. And in the 5 games since returning from suspension, Marcus Smart has sparked 4 victories by averaging 19.8 points, 4.8 rebounds, 6.4 assists, and 4.4 steals. Smart was named first team All Big 12. Texas Tech is playing in its 16th first-round game and will be facing Oklahoma State for the 7th time in the championship. They're 1-5 against the Cowboys. The Red Raiders had a solid season in Tubby Smith's first season as coach, finishing 14-17. Texas Tech was tough on its home court with victories over Baylor, Oklahoma State, Oklahoma, and Texas. Game 2 of the first round has number 7 seed Baylor facing number 10 seed TCU. Baylor has ridden the roller coaster this season, rising to a top 10 spot in the polls and then falling to a 2-8 start in the Big 12. Then the Bears did what most thought wasn't possible. They won 7 of their last 8 to finish at 9-9 in Big 12 play. Baylor closed the season with victories over Iowa State and Kansas State, and quite likely that earned them a spot in the NCAA tournament. Senior Corey Jefferson leads the Bears with 13.4 points and 8.1 rebounds per game.
I think it's going to be a tremendous tournament in Kansas City. Obviously, teams that get a 1-round bye have an advantage. But we're just excited. We're playing better right now, and we want to take each and every game, and we're controlling our own destiny as long as we're playing, we said, and we just want to keep playing well and getting better each and every day. And I think we're peaking at the right time, and there's something to be said when you're peaking at this time versus kind of sliding into it.
The Horned Frogs became the 3rd team in Big 12 history to go winless in conference play. Because of injuries, TCU was shorthanded much of the season and is down to just 7 scholarship players. Despite the roster limitations, the Horned Frogs have been competitive throughout the season. Junior guard Keon Anderson leads the team in scoring at 17 per game, while Kavar Shepard, one of 3 freshman starters, averages 9 points and 7 rebounds per game. Well, we're just getting started. After this quick break, we'll be back to take a look at what should be 4 outstanding quarterfinal games.
Higher education is the key to solving issues for the future. 10 universities are making a difference with bold leading programs and innovative solutions through research, science, engineering, and technology. Go to Big12makingadifference.com to see the power of collaboration. Big 12, higher education making a difference.
We know that it has changed from game to game and week to week all year, which I think speaks not only to the balance of the league, but the success of the teams in the middle of the pack. I mean, 7 teams with 20 wins, 5 with at least 10 conference wins. I think that tells you all you need to know about how balanced the league is from top to bottom.
Welcome back. The first game on Thursday is all about contrast. Number 4 seed Iowa State scored at least 70 points in all but one of 30 games this season, and nationally is one of a handful of teams with 3 players averaging 16 or more points per game. Melvin Ejim leads the way at 18 per game, followed by DeAndre Kane with 17 and George Niang at 16 per contest. Ejim finished second in scoring in the Big 12 and also second in rebounding in the final stats and was named the Conference Player of the Year, while Kane was named the Newcomer of the Year. The Cyclones lead the Big 12 in scoring, 3-point field goal makes and attempts, plus assists. Number 5 seed Kansas State has gotten it done with defense and depth. The Wildcats lead the Big 12 by allowing just under 65 points per game, and they're third in the Big 12 in field goal percentage defense, and they're best in the conference when it comes to limiting 3-point shooting. K-State has 10 players averaging 13 or more minutes per game. Freshman Marcus Foster, named to the All-Big 12 second team, has emerged as the team's top scorer, and he leads the team in 3-point shooting. Junior Thomas Gibson averages 12 points and 6.6 rebounds per game.
The interesting thing about who can win this conference tournament championship, I think, is going to be based on which team is able to knock off Kansas. The team that knocks off Kansas may not eventually, if they do, which is going to be a tricky proposition, may not necessarily win the Big 12 tournament, but it would open a door up for 4 or 5 other teams.
Game 2 on Thursday will feature top-seeded Kansas against the winner of the Oklahoma State-Texas Tech game. The Jayhawks have a chance at earning a number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament, but might need to win it all in KC to make the top line. Center Joel Embiid, the first freshman to be named Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year, is out for the Big 12 championship and at least for the first week of the NCAA tournament because of a stress fracture in his back. KU has won 10 consecutive regular season titles, and the Jayhawks are seeking their 10th Big 12 championship title. Andrew Wiggins, named the Big 12 Freshman of the Year, is coming off a 41-point performance that set a KU scoring record for freshmen.
Well, I think a number 1 seed is still in reach, and Kansas, despite the amount of losses they've had, everybody recognizes they've played as tough a non-conference schedule as anybody's played in maybe 5 years. So I wouldn't just coast into the Big 12 tournament thinking that, hey, we're all set for the NCAA tournament. Without Joel Embiid at the end of the regular season, I think Bill Self would like to establish some momentum going into the NCAA tournament, as well as still hold out hope that they could get a number 1 seed. I think that's still a lot to play for the Jayhawks.
Oklahoma is the number 2 seed and will face the winner of the Baylor-TCU game. Last season, Lon Kruger became the first coach to lead 5 different teams into the NCAA tournament. The Sooners lost their top 3 scorers from that team, but they've reloaded and have been even better this season. Oklahoma starts 1 senior, Cameron Clark, who is the team's second leading scorer. Sophomore Buddy Hield has emerged as one of the top perimeter players in the Big 12. He leads OU in scoring and 3-point shooting. The Sooners are tough to beat when they're making 3-pointers, and they have 5 players who have made 31 or more from beyond the arc. The final quarterfinal has number 3 seed Texas taking on number 6 seed West Virginia. UT faces the challenge of beating a team 3 times in the same season. The Longhorns won the first 2 meetings with West Virginia by margins of 11 and 17 points and were able to dominate the paint and the boards in both contests. Texas finished 3rd in the Big 12 after being picked to finish 8th, and Coach Rick Barnes was selected as Coach of the Year, the 4th time he has won that award. UT has 4 players averaging double figures, led by junior forward Jonathan Holmes at 13 points per game. He was selected to the All-Big 12 second team. Texas lost 5 of its last 9 games, with all of those losses coming on the road. Now, if there's a dark horse team that could win 3 games and steal an NCAA bid, it's West Virginia. The Mountaineers finished 9-9 in the nation's toughest conference and have one of the best group of perimeter players in the country. Point guard Juwan Staten was selected to the All-Big 12 first team, and he topped the league in scoring at 18.4 points per game. Staten also led the Big 12 in assists. He was 8th in steals and averaged nearly 6 rebounds per game. Sophomore Aaron Harris was 4th in the Big 12 in scoring at nearly 18 per game and is one of the Big 12's top three-point shooters. Now when we come back, we'll let you know about the schedule for the rest of the championship and tell you about the coverage you can expect from Kansas City. Hey fans, Wendell Barnhouse of the Big 12 Digital Network here, and for the 4th year in a row, we're asking for your help in selecting the most outstanding player at this year's Phillips 66 Men's Basketball Championship. You can vote using whatever personal device you use to connect to the internet, like your smartphone. You can follow us on Twitter and Facebook for updates and a link to the voting site, or you can visit the Championship Central page on Big12Sports.com anytime before the end of the championship game. Welcome back. Well, at the first 2 days and 6 games turn out as expected, there's going to be plenty of great basketball in Kansas City. But that will just set up the semifinals that are scheduled for 6 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. Friday. And this year, the championship game moves to prime time and will air at 8 p.m. on ESPN with Brent Musburger, our friend Fran Fraschilla, and the great Holly Rowe. Also, the Big 12 Digital Network will have live post-game coverage and will carry the coaches' news conferences after each game. Plus, make sure to check out the game recaps and features from Kristen Keith of Campus Insiders. For the Big 12 Digital Network, I'm Wendell Barnhouse.